Another deal struck between the Glazers and Sir Jim Radcliffe. Be nice. Don't say anything bad about me. We'll keep it stum. Oh, well, you can look at it into how you want to look into that one. Are you expected? Did you expect that to happen? Are you surprised? We'll get into that. I'll read more detail from part of that out of the 241-page document which has come out. We touched on a bit of it yesterday. I'm going to get into a bit more today and what is relevant to us right now as United fans going forward. A possible option for Manchester United to get their hands on one of the best young midfield talents in European football right now. I'll get into detail on that. A massive decision that's needed to be made on Mason Greenwood's future coming soon. Pressure is starting to mount on how well Greenwood is performing in Spain right now and is attracting attention, and one big call for Sir Jim Ratcliffe to actually make. But I'll give you detail on why it's not what everyone's reading right now on that one. And also we're talking AFCON. What is going on with Onana and him with Cameroon now being set to go out on AFCON? Obviously we're going to miss him for a while. Is it Bayenday's time? Is this going to make things difficult for Ten Hag in selecting the goalkeeper when Onana comes back? And I want to get into something that one of the pundits out there has said that you guys might laugh at as United fans. It is a big exodus list, but an explanation as to why each one of them players should be out of the door at Manchester United. It is quite amusing actually, so stay tuned for that one. Stay into the video right till the end because we're getting into that, and that will be the finish to the show and get your guys' opinions on all of that. But it is quite an amusing read, I will promise you that. It's a good one. But yes, we are getting into this video first of all about the Glazers and Sir Jim Ratcliffe. As always, seems to be hogging the headlines right now. Manchester United's 25% stake of Sir Jim Ratcliffe and what the finer details. We've been talking about the finer details and wanting to know exactly what is involved in all this. More and more is coming out. You only have to read more into this long-ass document that has come out and what is going on with Sir Jim. But it's one of these right now where you look at it and go, please don't say anything bad about me. Let's just keep it stum. We've got obviously issues behind the scenes at both of our respective companies or whatnot. Let's just keep it nice and quiet, shall we? Let's just not say anything bad in public. Well, I'll read into what's been said in that as well. It is Forever United TV. Everyone, welcome along. Please give the video a like. That is the rule for starting off any live stream, as you guys know. And wow, it's a -25 on the super chat there for DJ John T. Hello, DJ John. That is brassico rain. Stay inside right now. Believe it or not, guys, in Manchester we had a mini tornado in some parts of Manchester, which has absolutely decimated parts of different towns within the Greater Manchester region. So hopefully everyone is safe and okay. If anyone is watching from these parts of Manchester, the weather right now is just off the scale craziness. It is biblical. And just to see -25 there in Sweden for DJ John as well. Hopefully everyone is okay and everyone's doing good. But yeah, we have got a lot to get through this morning. It's really interesting actually regarding the Glazers and this deal with Sir Jim Ratcliffe. I'm going to read into it now. Like and subscribe as always, guys, like I said, especially if you are tuning for the first time. Thank you very much. We have just gone over 33,400 on the road to 50k subscribers, guys, so keep pushing that algorithm. We know what it's like, we love it. So let's read into this. I'm going to go from the what was said. So this is from the tabloids, so let's read into this. I'm going to read out most of it for you guys to just give your thoughts on, then we'll get into some questions on this and get into some more detail of what you guys want to know about. The Glazers and Sir Jim Radcliffe have reportedly made an agreement not to criticise each other following the Ineos owners' impending partial takeover at United. Radcliffe's purchase of 25% share of the club, 1.3 billion, was completed on Christmas Eve after months of negotiation with the Premier League. Ratification of the deal in the new year will see the petrochemicals magnate take control of the football operations of Manchester United. However, it's now emerged that following the release of the 241-page document containing finer details of the partial takeover, the Glazers and Radcliffe have struck another deal. Here we go. Get your sick bags ready. According to the Times, included in the document is a section that says Radcliffe's Trawlers Limited cannot make public statements that constitute or attack on or criticise or otherwise disparage the sellers, the Glazers, the company United, or their respective affiliates. The Glazers also report that the documents, the outlet also report that the documents that the Glazer family must similarly refrain from any public criticism of their new investor too. So, you do me, you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. Let's just make each other sound absolutely fantastic in the world of football, business and finance and whatever. Meanwhile, in the wake of Radcliffe's impending arrival, the Glazers reportedly wrote to Manchester United staff to instruct them not to discuss Radcliffe's minority takeover. This is where it gets interesting. So obviously, straight away, the main headline is the Glazers not wanting to be bad-mouthed, and likewise Sir Jim Radcliffe. Obviously, with Sir Jim Radcliffe, the petrochemicals, the environmental issues that come with Sir Jim Radcliffe's company, Ineos, and everything around that, they don't really want to be talking down them lines. Likewise, on the other side, the Glazers, as everyone knows, have run Manchester United into the ground and has used them as the biggest cash cow in world football. We don't want any sort of negativity coming our way on that side of things either. So both of them are striking somewhat of a deal that we just stay quiet and we deal with things from this point forward and try and make everything look positive. That's what I'm reading from that and what's been said there. But the most interesting bit, what we read into here, is how they're gagging pretty much everyone at Manchester United. And this is normal with United anyway, but it now looks like it's going to be hyped up even more. So let's get back to where we were just reading from there. I'll just read that last paragraph again so you guys can catch up. Meanwhile, in the wake of Radcliffe's impending arrival, the Glazers reportedly wrote to Manchester United staff to instruct them to not discuss Radcliffe's minority takeover. The Daily Star claim that the club chief sent an email to all employees warning them not to talk to the media, friends or even their own families about Radcliffe's $1.3 billion investment into the club. A letter reportedly read, "Please note that there are certain legal rules that govern permissible communications between and during this process. Accordingly, please avoid commenting on this transaction on any social media channels. If you are approached by the media, please refrain from commenting or communicating and refer all inquiries to the Chief Communications Officer at Manchester United." So you're not allowed to say anything. You're not allowed to talk to your family even if you work for Manchester United regarding this. Forget about talking to your family members about how your actual survival and how much you're going to earn and your day-to-day living is being impeded by this takeover. It's all about United, the Glazers, Sir Jim Radcliffe, and everyone making it look like everything is rosy in the garden. You're not allowed to discuss anything whatsoever. Nothing's allowed to be leaked. You're not even allowed to speak to your family members, for God's sake. I mean, you're not allowed to talk about your workplace. I understand certain things, yes, but anything at all? Absolutely craziness. It really is. Zane, you're up quite early, mate. You got a game today, have you, pal? Thanks for the super, my man. Adam, are you ready for our masterpiece tonight against West Ham? Unlike you, we will beat them. Why don't you buy Ramsdale? Us fund Tony. Yeah, you're right, mate. We didn't beat West Ham. We didn't, but also, you could have done with beating Aston Villa to keep you a bit clear. I mean, beating Villa's not for everyone, Zane, is it, I suppose? Just like Villa isn't for us. You can only beat one claret and blue, can't you? But yes, you should be further ahead than what you are right now, but you've kind of dropped the ball a little bit, haven't you? So hopefully you can last the course. Thanks for the super chat, mate. I'll put that to Manchester United to fund any forwarding transaction of any new player coming to the club to make us better, my friend. Love the banter, by the way, Zane. Still keep it coming, my man. Thank you very much. Dolby is free. Adam, this deal is bad news for the fans/club. It's going to end in disaster. I see no way they can turn this around. They can turn it around. They can. We've talked about everything already. We don't need to go into details what we think can be improved at Manchester United. We've talked about that already. But I'm still looking at this. I'm looking at this story today as going, I'm just laughing, really, at this. It's just something that you'd expect to come from United. Well, under the ownership of the Glazers, sorry. It's like, let's just make Manchester United sound good. Let's just put a little ribbon on top to make the wrapping look good when it's really crap. This is how Manchester United are. It's just trying to put out a different circle. Manchester United work in a bubble. And everything inside that bubble, if you're working for the club, looks absolutely rosy and perfect, and everything is nice. The reality, everyone can see it. We all talk about it. It's reported about, it's written about, like we've just read out there. And no one is having the wool pulled over their eyes with what's really going on with United. Everyone knows the task in hand, and everyone knows what's needed at Manchester United going forward. And I feel like, looking at it right now, I would say they're just putting out the feelers out to everyone has accepted this. That's why it came out on Christmas Eve. We're getting stories like this coming out now. More and more people are reading into the details of the transaction of the 25%, and we're getting little snippets coming out like this. We talked a bit about them yesterday. This, for me, is a laughable story of just how the Glazers are just using the power that they've got right now. This would have been the Glazers that actually made this happen. They are the ones that have been pushing this further, making it look like they are still this powerhouse. Show respect for the Glazers and what they've done and how much money that they've spent at Manchester United. We all know it's not their money. We know it's the money that the club has made. And what will be happening now is Sir Jim Radcliffe will be coming out soon. If anyone asks, when we get actual word from, say, Sir David Brailsford, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, whoever it may be representation-wise for Ineos, they'll be talking about how much Manchester United's revenues have gone up, how much money we're making commercially, the powerhouse that is Manchester United. Even if we aren't doing too good on the pitch, we're still this massive branding force, and now we can invest that money in a different way because Ineos are in charge. So we're using the good that was the Glazers in making all this commercial revenue, but now we're going to use all of that money and put it into the best in class in our sporting operations that we control, and that's where we're good. Basically, that is it. That's what's going to happen now, and that's how you're going to get, that's how it's going to be communicated across to the fan base. So this is the PR stunt I see right now. Obviously, they've had to be transparent with everything going on. They daren't risk not bringing out the details like they are doing with this big long document. So everyone is reading up on this now, and they're picking up on little snippets. They just try to do this behind the curtain as much as they possibly can. They try to get everything out there, and then we'll just deal with little bits as it comes out. We'll deal with little snippets of news, and eventually it will all just blow over. Effectively, right now, we're already, half a week through since the announcement was made. One of the biggest transactions in the last 25 years, over 2.5 decades of this club's history. And it's sort of been blown over because we had a great result against Aston Villa on Boxing Day. So you look at it, it is very strategic in how they've done it. We knew they were going to be sly in how they brought it out. No one knew they were going to be that sly in bringing it out on Christmas Eve. They knew that everyone would be off on Christmas Day. One day there of dust settling. Then United, they were praying and banking on United getting a result against Aston Villa, and they swam the channel with that victory. Coming from 2-0 down, everybody's focus has just gone away from what was happening off the pitch, straight to on the pitch. And it's only for little bits and reporting like this from all the tabloids about this little snidey deal about being nice to each other and bigging each other up that's come out now. But really, everyone's already focusing on Nottingham Forest. The whole plan for me would have been drop this news right in the middle of one of the busiest times for everyone out there, personally wise, around Christmas and fixture wise. It's game after game after game. No one can concentrate solely on what is happening at United because there's a game every other day. So much going on. And this is why they've done it. It was all a play. It was all manufactured to come out around this time so everyone had too much going on and couldn't get right into the nitty gritty, which is every bit of detail from this transaction. So yes, this is why they've done it, and this is what I'm looking at now. And you know what? I look at that and I said, like I did a minute ago, I just laugh. I laugh at the fact that the Glazers are trying to put something in a contract, a binding contract, such magnitude and how big it is, that in all of this, they just don't want anyone to come in and badmouth them either. Oh, God. That's our owners, people. That is our owners. So, yeah, hopefully the Ineos group don't get too deep into bed with the Glazers. DJ John says yeah, he's talking about winter there. I'll get into another comment about football. Sorry, mate. Hope everyone in Manchester is safe, by the way. Reed, there was a tornado there. Crazy stuff. Honestly, you wouldn't believe. Absolutely mental. Let's just read. Michael Manning says, I'm a Liverpool fan, but love watching your channel. Adam is a top man. Give an insight to see what's going on with different teams. No hate from me, only respect for other channels. Michael Manning, top comments. We love comments like that. DJ United says, Emmy lost that game for Villa. As good as we were at 2-0 up, they should have dropped deeper, killed the game and hit us on the break. The fact that they did drop too deep was the issue for them, in my opinion, DJ. I think it was the tactics that Villa put in the game in the second half which really killed it for them. They went too deep and United won the ball back higher. Ben DeGoro, the Glazer management are rotten. We were on the brink of collapse, like potentially relegation. I wish good luck for the new football management. Ben's not got no confidence going forward. Stephanie has just dropped in the house. Hello, Stephanie. Right on cue there. That means that we need to get them likes up, people. Let's get to 100 before the 20-minute mark. We are 30 odd away, so please, everybody, just give the video a like. It doesn't take much, and it all helps with the channel. Farah says, Adam, interpretation of this agreement is incorrect. Please go read it. I'm not incorrect, Farah. It's what has just been said. It's there in black and white. The agreement is there. You cannot not read what is actually there in the 241-page document. So, yes. Take that one back, please. You can sort of break it down as you want and look at it in whichever way, but you're breaking it down as the Glazers just don't want bad-mouthing. We cannot, Ineos and their group cannot say anything bad about the Glazers, and likewise, it's a gentleman's agreement that we're talking about now that doesn't even need bringing up really in the detail of what we're interested in, but it's just laughable as to what is actually going on. And yes, there is that email there as well. That is factual as well, because we know that Manchester United don't let the staff talk already. So it's all facts. It's been going on for a long time. It's not changed now because of this. It's just that they're just tightening the grip on everyone at United, and we can't talk. You can't talk at a football club if you're a staff member. You're not allowed to leak things out. So no, this is all factual. So you can read off it what you want and try and interpret it however you want, but the facts are there. It's in black and white. So yes, don't worry too much. It's not going to affect us. It's not going to affect the football. It's just their world, and what they live in is a completely different one to ours. Darren says, I know it's quite funny about the not criticising the Glazers and vice versa, but it's standard legal stuff with PLC. Yeah, it is. It's not. They weren't. This is. If you listen to my videos in all of this going forward, and people can sort of read it now and say I'm not interpreting it right. What did I say from the start? The only reason Sir Jim Radcliffe has managed to win this bid over the Qataris is because he understands business. He understands the PLCs. He understands the rules of negotiations. He's not going to come in and slag off the Glazers when you're trying to get into bed with them and get part of their business. You cannot do it. It's the rule of business. Anyone with a brain cell would do it. The Qatari bid was based around sweetening up the fans from the start, and it all sounded great. But within that, slagging off the Glazers wasn't really going to put you in their favourites book, was it? So Jim is a very, very clever man. He knows he cannot slag off the Glazers. He wouldn't do it anyway. The fact that it's actually in this document is the point that I'm making, and it's laughable because it's there and everyone is reporting on it. But realistically, everyone knew that Sir Jim Ratcliffe, if he wanted to be part of Manchester United or get his hands on any part of it, he wasn't going to be able to say anything about the Glazers. He never would anyway. He's had minor dealings with them before. It's obviously been well documented as well. So yeah, that is why Sir Jim Ratcliffe is now part of Manchester United and not the Qataris. That's what I've been saying all along. So look at it that way. Look at it that way is what I say. And yeah, anyone who wanted, you're not gonna, if you're looking to buy a house, you're not going to start slagging off the people that are selling it if you know other people are looking to buy the house also, are you? It's the same in any walk of life, really. So keep your cards close to your chest, keep your mouth shut, sweeten them up, may slag them off behind the scenes and criticise them there, but don't do it publicly. That's all it is. Adam, which of the 10 Ten Hag signings are you happy with, and are you happy with his lineup tactics and subs? One Pugget, there is a section of the show later on we're going to get into on that, and we will bring it down. I've got some Exodus list from a footballing pundit, which is quite amusing, which I want to get your guys' all opinion of as well. Adobe is free. Adam, the Rat is paying $32 per share now, but the Glazers put a clause that the Glazers can buy the shares back in 18 months at 24 a share. Make it make sense, Adam. No one can totally make it make sense, but in that same paragraph as well, this is what Sir Jim has had to do to get his foot in the door at Manchester United. But Sir Jim Radcliffe will also have the opportunity to make an offer, a counter offer in all of that. So it's not like they're going to take that opportunity. Sir Jim will have the opportunity to actually counter it as well, and maybe even offer more. It's business. The Glazers are not stupid. They are top of the tree. In business terms, they've pulled off the biggest footballing, sporting finance deal ever. They are top of the tree. They are Real Madrid, Barcelona's of this world when it comes to the business world. They're not stupid. They have covered themselves and some in all of this deal. What makes it interesting for us is Sir Jim Ratcliffe has to make Manchester United work to make it work for him, like we said in yesterday's show. That's why it's more of a positive slant for me than anything. And yes, I think more will be available also in that deal for Sir Jim Ratcliffe to buy as well. So there is an opportunity that he could become a majority. I don't think it will be full Glazers completely gone at any time soon at all. Definitely not in the next decade anyway. I think we've got to at least sit in for a good while longer yet. But Sir Jim has made sure that he is safe. The Glazers have made sure that they are safe. This is why it's taken so long and why it's so complex. So this is where we're at with it now. We're just getting the little details like this that we can laugh at and we can actually bring up and discuss ourselves. Ultimately, it only comes down to what happens from Sir Jim's side now for us. That's really interesting because he's the one in control of what we love, which is the football club and all football relation stuff. So yeah. Leo says, I can't see the Glazers or Sir Jim ever leaving now. We stuck with them. It's very true. I don't think I'll ever see any change in my lifetime, Leo. It's just the way it is. It's horrible to say. But, yeah, it is. Scott Farrell says, the Glazers are not top of the tree. They are bottom of the barrel. It's the matchday going fans that have sold the club down the river. No, they are top of the tree, mate. Sorry. If you don't like reality in the business world, they have taken us to the cleaners. They have taken the Premier League to the cleaners and everyone else and just funded their lives for the last 2.5 decades. They are top of the tree, mate, because they've spent nothing and took billions. So, yeah, that's reality you don't want to hear. I know you don't, but they're the facts. Sorry. You have to deal with it, I'm afraid. Moving on, I need to get on to the next part, which is regarding Mason Greenwood. That is another story coming out now. We've talked about this several times on this channel, but now there are definite interest from, obviously, Getafe, his club at the moment, what we've loaned him out to, are reportedly putting in a club record for them. Bearing in mind their previous record bid for any player or purchase was 11 million euros. For them to be putting down a 40 million, according to reports, bid for Mason Greenwood to keep him at the club after the loan period this year, that is where they're at with it. Valencia are interested. Real Madrid and Barcelona are now making moves, but Real Madrid are the ones that are forcing the hand possibly of Sir Jim Ratcliffe going forward, and one of his first big decisions that he's going to have to make, because going into this year now, what we got left of the season, another 4 months left of the season, Sir Jim Ratcliffe's probably going to be in charge officially by the end of January. We're getting into the depths of the end of the season and decision time, and I feel like he is going to have to make a decision on Mason Greenwood. I think it will be his first huge decision as the sporting controller of the football club under his command. I think Mason Greenwood will be one of his toughest, but one of his biggest decisions going forward. This is the club that we were talking about yesterday, that the core of now is looking like we're building from the youth setup. We're looking like we are going to be going back to Manchester United DNA and roots. It's the only way we can go forward, because we're cash strapped. We haven't got enough money to invest like other clubs, because we're not right up there in the Champions League. We're out of that. We're not challenging for the title, so we have to be very, very savvy and clever. And when you've got an asset like Mason Greenwood, who is already forcing the hand of a so-called poorer Spanish club in Getafe to break their transfer record by three times the amount, from 10-11 million to 40 million. That's for them. You can imagine what Real Madrid are going to offer if Mason Greenwood continues in the form that he's in. Already, I think now 14, 15 goal contributions this season. Getafe sitting nice and comfortably in mid-table. He's been a massive part of that. Then you're going to start attracting attention, especially from over there. If he's in Madrid already, which he is with Getafe, Real Madrid that is, are going to be looking at this and going, you've got a fully integrated 22-year-old, I think he's 22 actually, 22-year-old forward, plays both-footed, he's electric, fast, he's built a little bit more now, he's stronger, he's entering the prime of his career, and you've got another 10 years in Mason Greenwood at the top level. He's already getting used to playing in La Liga. Wow, you have got a big decision. This is where I don't think Mason Greenwood is going anywhere. I think he's going to be back in the United shirt. It's already been reported that Sir Jim Radcliffe is in no rush to make a decision on Mason Greenwood and will not commit to selling the player either. He has to weigh up everything. He has to sort of test the waters, read the room where everything is with Mason Greenwood right now, as we already know about, and the situation, and then make a decision on that. We made 100 likes, people. We've had a donated membership from our man Honest Tiger. Thank you very much, my friend. Stephanie has taken that. Couldn't have happened to a nicer person. Thanks very much, Honest Tiger, again as always, and well done, Stephanie. Welcome to the members club again. Hope everyone is well in the chat. So let me know what you think about Mason Greenwood, guys. Let me know what you think about that 40 million bid. What is he worth? We did a poll the other day in a video where I think most people had him rated around 60, 70 million. 40 million for Getafe is a lot of money. You can only imagine someone going bigger. I reckon Mason Greenwood, if he carries on in this form, Mason Greenwood will be worth 100 million by the end of this season. That's if Real Madrid come in for it. And like I said, you break down everything that's happening right now. He's already in Madrid. He's already used to playing in La Liga. He's integrated and enjoying life there in Spain, in the capital. Real Madrid have got a player there that they know they can afford. He's 22. He's got another 10 years at the top level. He's just adding to that quality of young talent that is in that Madrid side already. He's going to be worth 100 million. And he is going to really test the resolve of Sir Jim Radcliffe and his Ineos team at Manchester United going forward. This is going to be the biggest decision that Sir Jim Radcliffe is going to have to make in his first year in charge of Manchester United. Mason Greenwood is attracting attention from all over the world right now. Whether you like it or not, that situation is going to be thrown down onto Sir Jim Radcliffe's desk, and it will be a tough one. I cannot see United letting him go, because we haven't got the finances to bring anyone else in replacing him. Is 100 million enough for Mason Greenwood for United to go, let's let him go and let's rebuild in other areas of the pitch? Can we bring in other players in defence, fullback and midfield, where we are desperately in need of reinforcements? Or is that centre forward position something that you feel Højlund cannot do on his own? Martial is going to be gone in the summer. Another centre forward gone. Rashford is hit and miss in that position. Højlund is developing. He's 20. He's nowhere near the finished article yet. But do we need someone else in there? Would a 20-year-old Højlund and a 22-year-old Mason Greenwood be the future of Manchester United? You could in fact have Greenwood at 22 on the right, Højlund at 20 in the middle, and Garnacho or Rashford, whoever, on the left-hand side. Let's not forget, Greenwood can definitely play all three of the forward positions because he's both-footed, unlike everyone else in that forward line for United. I'm going to say it right now. 100 million, that's the minimum you should be accepting for Mason Greenwood, especially if Real Madrid are in for him. You definitely have to take them to cleaners, and this will really, really show exactly where Manchester United's new sporting operations and the new running of it under Ineos is at. It's going to tell us exactly how good and how different it's going to be for Manchester United, because everyone knows, every Manchester United fan knows that Manchester United, in dealing with transfers, are absolute dross. They're crap, and they have been useless year after year after year when it comes to selling players and making the most out of some of our most valuable assets. It really has been that bad. So I think this is big news and is going to be top of the agenda when it comes to Sir Jim's first big decisions to be made at this football club. I think it's going to be a tough one for him to handle, but I feel more confident in him and Ineos dealing with it than it would have been under the old regime with an Arnold or a Murto mixed in with Joe Glazer and everyone else there at the football club. I just feel like right now I'm happy that we've actually got someone else in who is controlling that side of things and transfers, like Sir Jim is going to be with Ineos. So yeah, let's see what happens with this, but keep an eye on this one. This is going to be the story of the summer. This will be the biggest story this summer in football, I guarantee it. Mason Greenwood sold, or he's back in a United shirt. Get ready for it, because it is coming. Darren says, people are assuming Mason wants to come back. He knows the dog's abuse he's going to get to every game. He might not want that. It's very true. Sell Antoinette, get Mason back, says Alien. DJ United says, I would take him back with humility. Everyone deserves a second chance, but he will get hammered by the media, and it might be too much bad press. Difficult one. Very difficult one, which is why I'm saying keep an eye on this, because this is going to be one of the topics and one of the stories of the summer coming up. Paul D says, hi Adam, if Getafe buy him because they have been buying lineup for him, we need to have a sell-on clause in the deal. We can't, because his contract is already set, so there is no sell-on clause. Manchester United need to hold out and negotiate the best deal from scratch with Mason Greenwood. There's nothing set in stone in his contract that says he has to go for a certain amount. Mike Johnson, 100 mil player, now gets him back home now. UK Strange, Mason Greenwood has his eyes set on returning to Manchester United. That's why he's playing so well. He knows United can't afford to let him leave unless a massive bid comes in, which is why I wanted to open this up to the comments. Adam, it's just a thought for match-going fans. I think fans should fill Old Trafford but turn their backs on the game, not sing, not celebrate. That would send shockwaves to owners and sponsors. Old Trafford isn't safe enough to do it, Dolby, to be honest. If you turn your back there, you're scared you're going to fall down. It's that steep and squashed together. I don't think health and safety factor... Well, the health and safety factor would come in at Old Trafford. You go to a modern stadium now, you go to an Emirates, or you go to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and you see the space and the protection and everything you've got in them seats, and you go to Old Trafford, like seriously, it is dangerous sometimes in them stands, especially if you're up in the up with the pigeons in some of the big stands, especially like the North Stand. It is a stadium which is deteriorating and is run down. You only have to listen to like some of the comments from the CEO of the company in charge of actually redeveloping Old Trafford. They said the wiring, everything, junction boxes, everything that is controlling Manchester United, it's not like it's going to be a choice to improve Old Trafford. Feels like they have to, just to actually stay up with standards. They are going to have to completely renovate it or completely knock it down and smash it up and rebuild another Old Trafford. We just haven't got the money. I don't know where we go with it or how we deal with Manchester United Stadium right now. There's no way around it, and I don't think Manchester United have got the finances to go either way right now. Oh, we have a brew. Thank you. Everyone say thank you, Kaz, in the chat. Nice coffee. Took time out from the chat to bring me a nice brewski up. But yeah, Adam, okay, I understand. I think silence would be the loudest protest. All other protests have failed. There's not one protest that will work, Dobie. You've got to stop. Ultimately, in the end, I said the Glazers would be their own enemy. It has to change. It has to change. And they've done something about it. Now all we can do is look at this next 18 months. I say judge all of this in 2 years. Because like we've said in the chat there, the clauses within the contracts and the detail, the 18-month period for the Glazers to possibly want to buy back Sir Jim Radcliffe shares. But the problem you've got is, and why I don't think the Glazers will ever think about buying them shares back, is because Sir Jim Radcliffe and his team are coming in and they're in charge of all them operations. So if the Glazers wanted to buy them shares back, then they would have to put in a completely new setup, because I'm guessing Ineos would be completely out and out with everyone that they've brought in that had been hopefully making United successful again. So I don't see the Glazers going down that road at all. But yeah, it's madness, isn't it? It really is. Wonky Donkey TV, not worth a risk of him offering again. Woman abuser always show their true colours again eventually. Leopard never changed his spot, says Wonky Donkey. UK Strange says Kaz wants a coffee. UK Strange says Kaz, I want a coffee, 2 sugars. That's me, mate. 2 sweeteners. Sweet enough. Alien Tenor with a super chat. Cheers, mate. I'll have a Stella, please, Kaz. Got some left in the cupboard. No, it's Madry's actually. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a nice brew. Nice. On to other news. So that was Mason Greenwood. This was the bit I wanted to get your guys' opinion. So you know, Manchester United need to bring in a new midfielder in my opinion. Now, a few weeks ago, a month and a half ago actually, I did a video on João Neves, the young holding midfielder at Benfica, who is just pulling up trees right now. He is, if United are looking for a midfielder, he's got a big buyout clause. We're not going to get him, I don't think, for anything less. Bagno, thank you very much. I love my tattoos too. So, yeah, we're not going to get Neves or a player like that. I don't think it's going to be 70, 80 million. Young talent coming from Benfica. And the only reason I'm bringing it up now is because Benfica are in the news about wanting to terminate the loan that Alvaro Fernandez has got right now and bring Fernandez to Benfica for a fee. Reported price tag is going around about the £6 million mark for Alvaro Fernandez. Now this is where I get wound up with United. Right there's more than 6 million in Alvaro Fernandez. So the way I'm looking at it, if Benfica are fully on and fully keen in this, we're now going to start seeing what a sporting director, what's a recruitment officer, what a different CEO with football brains and football strategy is going to bring to Manchester United. Because right now I'm looking at that and going, Alvaro Fernandez 6 million, now you can forget it. Alvaro Fernandez as part of a make weight for João Neves. Now we're talking, because Neves is never going to stay at Benfica. So how do you do it? Like we said before, you sweeten up your opposition. You sweeten up the club that are actually looking to buy Alvaro Fernandez. Have they got an asset that we could use in this? Yes, there is Neves. Maybe United will start thinking along these terms. Maybe we're going to see Sir Jim and his team getting right into Manchester United's dealings and making us look good in the transfer market as well. So Neves, Alvaro, any savings we can make, whether it's 10 million off a 70 million price tag, it all benefits. And like we said there, if you're savvy enough, I know this sounds like you're playing Championship Manager or something, but say for instance Manchester United decided that Mason Greenwood was too much of a risk to bring back with all of the circus that's going to come with him, and we managed to get good money for him, which we will. If he carries on the way he is, like I said, for all the reasons, and if you're just tuning in, you not know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Mason Greenwood attracting attention from clubs in La Liga. He's played in La Liga. He's loving it in Madrid. He's already in the capital, and Madrid are looking like they're very interested in him. Getafe have already reportedly put £40 million bid forward for Mason Greenwood. Now that's going to double at least if Real Madrid are in for him, I would say. And Manchester United, then you could say, look, there's Alvaro Fernandez, there's Mason Greenwood gone. We could get João Neves in, young midfielder. We could then bring in a Todibo at the back if we wanted to. I was talking about Kambawala. Maybe we don't need a centre-back. Maybe we should start trusting in our youth system as well. There are ways around this. Manchester United have got a big player, a big asset, which is going to play a big part of this summer in Mason Greenwood. And everything that I'm talking about transfer-related right now, United, comes back to Mason Greenwood every single time. And the decision that Manchester United will have to make with him. But on the other side of things, if he did go, it does give us definite clout, because with him being an academy graduate as well, every bit of that money and that fee for Mason Greenwood is 100% profit. Nothing is taken away. So it massively helps Manchester United with financial fair play. So this is the other side. I don't think United can afford to get rid of Greenwood, because he is a forward that will definitely improve Manchester United. He's not going to cost anything. But also on the other hand, if we manage to make things work up top with what we've got, and they feel like they can afford to get rid of Mason Greenwood, he is a massive positive, because he's 100% profit. And the more you get for that deal, it all goes straight into the coffers to reinvest into the team. And there's not a chance that they would think about not investing that money back into the team. With the way the fan base is at the moment, how fractious it is, all of that Mason Greenwood transfer fee would go right back into the club. I cannot see it going any other way. So that would then free up money to bring in the likes of a Todibo, the likes of a João Neves, young up-and-coming players that Manchester United really need to be investing in. Or do we keep the young, brilliant centre-forward and deal with the crap that's going to come our way with Mason Greenwood? There's both sides to the argument with Mason, and I feel like that is the whole debate right now. 130 likes for the video. Cheers for that, guys. Brilliant. Let's get 20 more and get that 150 up. Over 350 in the room with us right now. Brilliant stuff, guys. Don't forget, do subscribe to Forever United TV if you tune in for the first time. This is what we do every single day now. We bring you guys into the chat. We discuss everything that's going on with United, but we had a little bit more context. And it's not about one voice. It's about everyone's voice on this channel. We should build around our youth, says Paul. Eugene, can't believe we paid 85 million for Antony but sold Alanga. I think that could come back to bite us on the ass this weekend. Hopefully I'm wrong. Stephen Williams, if you are a true United supporter, then hit the like button. Couldn't agree more with that comment there. That's brilliant stuff. He can replace Rashford. I'm fed up with buying 50, 60 million pound players unless it's spent on the right players, Madhouse. The Glazers will pocket it, says Bogno. No, they can't. There's not a chance that they'll be able to do that. They've already taken absolute fortunes out of this deal. And Sporting Operations, I feel like Manchester United, with Ineos in charge of the transfers, it's not going to be the same. The Glazers will make their money and their fortunes off the commercial deals, the match day revenues and stuff like that. But I'm feeling, I need to read a bit more into this, but if any money is recouped in transfers, with it being Sporting Operations, I feel like Ineos and Sir Jim Radcliffe would have the power over that to reinvest then. I'm not 100% certain on that. I would hope that would be how it is, and that's been negotiated in, because that would just make common sense, wouldn't it? But yeah, I feel like hopefully that is the case. We've still got more to talk about, guys. Let's carry on with the show. I'm going to get into the outburst from the outburst from the pundit about Manchester United's exodus and what needs to happen. It's quite amusing. Let me just say, there is actually news coming out from Fabrizio Romano. We'll talk about that, about Hannibal. Hannibal Megre not going to AFCON as he can leave Manchester United to go on loan in January. Understand 3 clubs want to sign him. They all want him available in January/February. which are Seville, Lyon and Freiburg. So Seville from Spain, Lyon from obviously France, and Freiburg from Germany. Meanwhile, talks to extend his Manchester United deal are underway. So Manchester United are looking to loan out Hannibal this January. Are you happy about that, guys? That's coming out from Fabrizio Romano right now. So yeah, that is interesting news as well. And yeah, I'm not. It's realistic for Hannibal, isn't it? It is realistic. It's probably what's needed. I mean, we're talking about the AFCON Cup now. Obviously, we're going to lose Onana as well. And I want to get your thoughts on how tough a decision it's going to be for Ten Hag if Alto Bayindor comes back comes into this team and starts performing well. He is Turkey's #1, so if he gets in, I think he will want to stay in that #1 spot. He's not here for sitting on the bench, I don't think. And Ten Hag, again, he's going to have to make a big decision. He's the one who's brought 2 goalkeepers in. So he is one of Ten Hag's signings. Does Bayindor come into the Manchester United team and stay there if he performs well? Well, Andre Onana is out on international duty in AFCON. UK Strain says sell Hannibal for 10 million. Alien Tenor says keep Hannibal and give them Mount instead. Yeah. How many players do we have out on loan who've got to come back? There's quite a few of the younger players. So one thing we know definite in January is Danny van der Beek is going out on loan with an option to buy. Hannibal looks like he's going to be going out on loan, but United want to keep him and they're looking to extend his contract. He needs more first-team football to learn some football discipline, says Steve Nolan. Let him go. Kaz says, mixed feelings. I like the player, but he needs more games so we can see what player he really is. Darren says, I've been quite impressed with Hannibal. A bit disappointed he's not had more minutes. That's the problem in all this. Everyone's saying the same thing. They like the player, but the reality is we know he's not going to get the game time under Ten Hag. Whatever happened to Tyrell Malacia? Is he still injured? Yeah, he had a bad knee injury in the summer, just before pre-season. So he's on the recovery road. We may see him end of Jan, February time. I can't wait to see what our team looks like without Onana. Going to be really interesting to see Bayindor come in. So right now we're getting your thoughts on Bayindor coming in. Well, AFCON is on and Onana is away. And obviously, what would you like to see happen with Hannibal? Is it right that we let Hannibal go out on loan this January? I personally think it's a good decision. Hannibal needs to go out and get more game time. He needs to have first-team football. He's done well while he's been in the team this year, I think. I think he's been a breath of fresh air. His energy, his bite, his determination. He's part of this core of youth players that we were talking about yesterday, which really could be Manchester United's future. We have got some serious talent out on loan. I mean, you look at Alvaro Fernandez, what we were just talking about then, now attracting attention from Benfica. They don't want to loan him, they want to buy him. So we've got a left back there. And you've got to look at all of this and go, if Benfica are looking at Alvaro Fernandez and can enhance him, and we're looking to buy a player from Benfica in João Neves, you see where I'm going with this one. Why are we spending 60-70 million on Neves? Fair enough, yeah, he's a quality player, but we're letting Benfica do what we do 2 deals down the line, if that makes sense. Why would we sell Alvaro Fernandez to Benfica knowing that we possibly need a new left back right now? Because Malacia, we're not sure. Luke Shaw, inconsistent right now with his injuries. Could Alvaro Fernandez be the permanent replacement for Luke Shaw? Should we not be looking down that road instead of selling the player, selling Fernandez to Benfica, because they're only going to make him better and sell him for 50-60 million further down the road? I wouldn't be surprised if United actually put in a buyback clause of like 30-40 million, end up losing 30 million because we haven't got the patience to bring the youth player through right now. Which is why it is so important right now that Sir Jim gets in control of this football club and we get these different people in position that need to be for Manchester United to move forward. We need to have the recruitment section changed up. We need the CEO, the coaching, the scouting, whatever it may be. We need to have this new look Manchester United and this new sporting operation in place right now. So, yeah, that's where I'm at with this one. My argument with this is Hannibal, loan, yes, bring him back, because I think we've got talent there. We're doing it with Mason Greenwood now for obviously different circumstances, but we've got a player tearing it up there in Spain that can just come back to United and fit right into the team. Like I said, it comes with all the crap, but Alvaro Fernandez, why would we sell Alvaro for 6 million? Young Player of the Year 2 seasons in a row. United's Young Player of the Year, and then he's got Young Player of the Year at Preston on loan last season as well. He's now gone back out on loan again, and now he's attracting attention on a permanent deal from Benfica. Why are Benfica in for Alvaro Fernandez? Because that's the model of their club. Buy the players cheap and young and sell them on when they're developed. Why can't United develop Alvaro Fernandez? Why do we need to be going out and getting a regular, no disrespect to him, on loan from Spurs and not trusting in our own talent that we've got? Right now we're relying on Mainu, Kwamboala and Garnacho. Do you know what I mean? You can see where I'm going with this? Why are we going out and spending 60 million on a 20-year-old striker in Highland who only got 9 goals last season, but selling a quality potential left back for 6 million? This is Manchester United and the complete upside down nature of how we run. That I want to see Sir Jim Radcliffe and Ineos change right now. That's what I want to see, and I think this is a perfect opportunity to do this. Get Neves and pay him 300 a week. Don't want him. Madhouse. Oh, come on, Madhouse. Stop being negative. I understand why you are being negative. Would you rather just not spend the money at all and just stick with our youth team? Let me know, buddy. Because I'm all for that as well. But there has to be a little bit of a mix and a balance to it. Can we loan out Ten Hag out to Ajax? Ben De Goro says we need football intelligence in midfield with great passing skill, not another dribbler and pacey players. We've got enough pace up front, I feel. We really have. Bayindir can't do any worse than Onana. If Bayindir does better than Onana, will he keep his place? The question I've just asked Jim. Do you guys think he will? I really like Alvaro Fernandez, says Paul. So do I. I think he's impressed. I think he can definitely improve. And I think you could probably argue, is he any worse than what we've got right now? That's saying something. Lewis Jackson, you've got no chance of that with the Glazers, but yeah, Drew, we need the recruitment sort for that as well. And we're getting that. With the Glazers having no say over football in operations, this is where it gives me a little bit of hope. Talking like I was then about Alvaro Fernandez and what might be, and what we can work with that deal, I would have given up all hope before if it was just the Glazers, Murto, Arnold, people like that. Now we've got Sir Jim coming in, it has to be different. Bayindir was shaky when he come on against Wales, says Paul. Simpson, it's like a government reshuffle, all hype and waffle, hot air. Sim's not feeling it either today. I don't think you are you, mate? I know it's hard to bring yourself up. The only thing that gives positivity in anything that happens with United off the pitch is if it's good on the pitch. And later on, we're going to have Jay on the show as well. And I will get into that list of players. It's going to obviously come a bit later on because we've gone over in the show today, guys. So I think we'll discuss that with Jay and have a laugh about that later. But yes, me and Jay live later on this evening, guys. Do join us at 6:30 for the evening's live show. Hopefully you can all make it. Thank you so much for jumping on the stream this morning with us, guys. Brilliant stuff. And yeah, please give the video a like on your way out. Subscribe to the channel. Excuse me. There comes the coffee. Wow. Lovely job there. Subscribe if you're tuning in for the first time. I will see you all this evening. Have a fantastic rest of the day. Stay safe with all that nasty weather out there.